quote. Google says alien genes, foreign to this planet. So what the hell is we doing with foreign genes inside of our DNA that didn't come from this planet? And then whose genes is Google talking about? Because we know that chem means black, and history means the study of black. Chemistry means the study of black melanin, dark matter. So we know that white people make a living studying us on a daily basis, and this is how they are able to even create medicines or drugs to target black people, because they study us on a daily, which means they have been studying our DNA and have found that we have, according to them, 145 foreign alien genes in our DNA. So where did these alien genes come from? Horizontal gene transfer, HGT, which I just said. If you got to rewind it and go see the definition. Now, why is this important? Because I just showed and proved that black people genes have been influenced. We have been given bacteria from another species in order to influence our species in a positive way. And white people admit this and will never teach you this. And their bloodline is tainted due to 90% of the Caucasians being Rh positive, for rhesus monkey blood. So now, I just showed and proved that, according to science, somebody locked our DNA, and somebody is responsible for us having, I say 224, white people say 145, so let's go with them. Let's go with their words. 145 locked foreign DNA codons in our genes. Where did this come from? So out of 20,000 to 25,000 genes that the body is that is composed in the body, 145 of them are from our extraterrestrial, our alien, according to your words, white man. So this helps me show forth and prove my point that black people are divine descendants of the Anunnaki. But I ain't done. Now we want to go into parthenogenesis. You got a lot of fools on my stack who don't understand parthenogenesis. They want to say, oh, parthenogenesis is in birds and is in reptiles, is in amphibians, but it's not prominent in mammals. What you don't understand, fool, is you don't know yourself. You not no goddamn mammal. I'm not no mammal. I'm not Rh positive. I'm not a Caucasian. I wasn't in the caves fornicating with mammals. I don't have mammal bloodline. What are you talking about? I don't have rhesus monkey blood. I am from descendants who have an old blood type, the Anunnaki. So of course, when you read a science book, it's not about you. It's about the Caucasian. Even if you open any science book and it says humans are such and such percent mammals, it's a white man on there. It's not a black man on there. And that's not a coincidence, because they're not talking about you. So stop coming on my stack, keep saying, oh, the black woman could have never performed parthenogenesis because she's a mammal. She not no goddamn mammal. We have if you watch go watch 76 trillion year history of the black race part 1 again, and you'll hear me say that we were dinosaur DNA and reptilian DNA was used to help influence our creation. This is why we have webbed hands. What mammal have webbed hands? When your skin get dry, it looks scaly. I purposely let my hand get dry right here so you can see the little fake scale ripples. We have reptilian influence. And you want to know what some reptilians do? Parthenogenesis, fool. You want to know what else most reptilians have? A pineal gland. You can look this up. So, we perform parthenogenesis just like reptiles. We have pineal glands just like reptiles. And we have 145 alien genes. And most of our blood type is O. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That we're not no goddamn mammals. And our genetic influence would be more favored towards a reptile, if anything. They even call this part of the brain the reptilian. They don't call it the damn camel or the damn dog. They call it the reptilian. So why would they do that? Why would they call the base part of the brain, which has to do with your physical makeup?
Body Jerome Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. I know that we came from the dinosaur. I know that the lion played a part in the genetic becoming as mankind as well too. And this is why you have these three images in a row. When you think of this, think of the ancient myth of the Levitron and the sea serpent and the behemoth. It's always been stated that it was thought that mankind came from dog was earlier in mankind, which was that of the behemoth. This is where all of this is coming from. This is where these ideas are coming from. But the symbolic message behind this ad here is ancient rooted genes, genetics. I found through the Mentos commercial and ads that this candy is talking about, it actually has the capability of genetically altering mankind. Now, before you start thinking that that is foolish, a candy changing mankind's genes and genetics, causing for a chemistry of change within our bodies, think about it. Think about you having the ancient rooted knowledge and the chemistry, the cauldron, the cocktail to cause changes and effects in humankind's body and mankind's body based on your knowledge. It's telling you that this caveman has been introduced to genetics from the pineal gland. This is what this message is actually stating. What comes from the pineal gland? Semen, and in some cases blood. This is what this is describing. This caveman has been introduced to in DNA. So it's telling you that certain individuals from this group is telling you, it's describing with the caveman. It's telling you know what it's telling you? That the caveman is half white and half black. They're discussing certain people from certain origins, and I'm going to go into another slide. Now, how do I know that this caveman is half white and half black? It's telling you through the through the coloring of the hair and the facial hairs, telling you that this guy is not all the way white. So it's telling you that this candy is having an adverse effect towards people people of origins from ethnic backgrounds that are not white. Has his nostrils deformed, wide open. Look at this. Look at his nostrils, looking snaky like. A wide nostril person from a certain ethnic background, earring in his ear. He's hanging, showing you a snake. He opens up a thing of cyanide, and on the other side of the lid is a snake that's biting him. Look how the pack is open. The man is on the chair, and he's hanging himself. The implication of this is that the candy is so sour that it's driving you to commit suicide. You can't stand it. That's what the message behind all of this is. That the candy is so sour. Look, it's like taking cyanide poison and killing yourself. But it's not talking for all people, though. It's telling you that this candy is having a certain effect on a certain ethnic background of people. He's on a railroad tracks. It's like he's going to get got one way or the other. He's on a railroad tracks. He has a grenade in his hand, has a pin pulled in his mouth, and he's in a guillotine, and he's going to pull with the other. Has a hand grenade in one hand, pulled the pin with his mouth, got the pin in his mouth, and he's got his head in a guillotine. Okay, so 3 ways he's committing suicide. Check this out, people. And then he has a train. He's on the railroad tracks and going to be killed by a train of a person from a certain ethnic background. Wide, elongated noses. Look at the hair. Okay, now check this out. Has him biting his tongue, throwing a fit, having a seizure. Has a gun to his head, jumping off of a building. There's the building there. And then plus at the same time, in the other hand, sticking a knife in his stomach, killing himself that way. And there's the pack of Mentos marbles showing you that this is what is responsible for causing all of this. Now get this. Now I just showed you the ad before where the guy was on the railroad tracks with the grenade, had his head in the guillotine, and then on top of that, was going to be killed by the train. 3 ways that he was going to die. There was no way around it. That is showing. Now, if you don't believe me, I mean, Google Mentos ads, and all of this will come up. Now, the thing about all of this is that, think about it. This reminds me of terrorists that commits terrorist acts on humanity or against humanity, and then they claim responsibility for it. People, this is no damn different. These people, the Mentos candy, is claiming responsibility for certain acts of suicide and actions, or let's say actions which cause a person to commit suicide. That's what this is stating. Extensively know that these commercials were talking about something of a reality. Now, just imagine your child. Now, we all know that children, when they eat candy, they become very hyper, very hyper. Some of us say, look, we got to keep our children away from this candy. But just imagine the chemistry in the candy is beyond that of just having high sugar levels and causes your child to go and to have a reaction to the sugar. It's beyond that. There is mind control behind this. Here's a whale in a body of water spitting out a great white shark, and the great white shark is spitting out a person of color, and the person of color is spitting out a red Mentos, sour candy bar. Candy ball. And then it has on here really sour. Again, to most, this commercial don't mean anything. But to those that have the hidden knowledge of how mankind was truly created, then they'll know that these are talking about genes and genetics targeted towards a certain group, and these candies have an effect on that certain target group of people. See, you do not realize it, that mankind evolved out of the ocean through this fish, the whale as well, and through the great white. See my other videos here, people. These creatures are genetic contributors to the becoming of mankind's being, which calls for a reptilian ancestor. All right? Now, this candy is describing that certain certain genes from groups of people, the origins, this candy has an adverse effect on those that eat it. Again, the same exact thing. Here is a serpent, a snake, spitting out a crocodile. A crocodile, look, showing you that the crocodile almost has human legs here. I don't know if you can actually see that right there. But if you Google the image, you'll be able to see this. Okay? So Google these ads, please. You got to see it to believe it. The serpent spitting out the crocodile. Oh, I was just talking about reptiles, okay? Mankind coming from reptiles and reptilian man. The crocodile spit out this man. There's a man right there. And the man is spitting out a yellow Mentos sour candy bar. I keep saying candy bar. Candy ball. People, our beings and our existence is based on genetic manipulation. Certain groups of peoples know this. Ancient root of religion, ancient root of royalty, and those in the ancient roots of the art world. This is the cause for this ad. And then on top of that, the art chemistry behind this ad, they are telling and warning their own kind that this is the causes and effects that this candy has on these groups of people coming from these genetic origins. This is no different than saying that this is a black person, this is an Asian person, and this is a let's say where can we go like this with this? Let's just say a European person, and this is the causes and effect which causes from this candy. Sir Isaac Newton. This says he's holding up this Mentos pack. Okay? And the ad is that the secret of my success. That's what this is actually stating with Sir Isaac Newton. Mentos helping people get ideas. Mentos helping people get ideas. That's come on now. These people are claiming to have a secret, an ancient technology in this candy, which causes for the altering of the mind. And they're taking it very serious. They have Sir Isaac Newton, they have Einstein, and they have alchemies in their ancient commercials ads. And then they're showing other people that they're showing the Caucasians, they're showing them getting great ideas. People of color, they're showing them having an adverse effect and killing themselves and committing suicide, hanging themselves from chairs, throwing themselves in front of trains, stabbing themselves, shooting themselves, committing violent acts of suicide through self-infliction. A Caucasian individual, and they're showing him in a joking way smoking the Mentos like if it's crack. These are ads that are online about this candy company. Look, here they're showing where Mentos, where it's added into Coke soda, it explodes, caused by the adverse effects between the soda and the candy. Or go to a Wawa or 7, get the Mentos candy, and then go to McDonald's and they may have a Coke. And this adverse effect happens. And then I'm wondering why my child is being rushed to the hospital, or why they don't feel well, or what is going on with them. Or for that matter, they have a fit after a certain point of time and run off and commit suicide. Because this is what this candy product is talking about, that it invokes in a person or provokes a person to do. They're telling you in their commercials that this is what it does. So imagine a mindless individual. Children, and I'm not saying that children are minded, but I'm saying before a mind develops. And then you have in the suburban areas where people have dropped out of school, they have a lower grade of education, and you can have an adult that's 18, maybe 20 or 30 years old. They have the mindset of the 15 and 16-year-old, which categorizes them as a child. And then they have these suicide tendencies, which is provoked by this candy. This is what this is all coming down to. So it's almost like, you know what I mean? And they're taking responsibility in their commercials for causing this. It's, in other words, what's going on out in with these gang-related activity in California and all these other places where you have mindless gang members and people going out and, I mean, eating this candy, Mentos candy products, and committing violent acts not only against themselves, but against other people. Being in this mindset, they decide that they don't want to go alone and kill themselves like the way this man is doing by himself on a railroad track. They go out and kill masses of people. And this is where these school suicides, killings are coming from. Imagine that. They can't.
I actually X-made a video I had previously about breaking the code, the reptilian hypnotic code that they have over us. I deleted it because I was getting a lot of a lot of attention. I mean, the video brought in a lot of entities to get the code, but also I found that with breaking that code came a whole swarm of minions coming from either the cabal or the insectoids or the reptilians, which is cool. But I decided to remake the video because there was a lot of requests on how people could break the code on the hypnosis that some of these entities have over us. Part of it is hypnotic. Some of them are using technology to hide. Me and my people, we broke this code a while ago, and we've been seeing a plethora of entities of all kinds. I mean, more than we would like, but they're here, and I've seen them firsthand and quite a few of my people. So here is the code, and this is how you do it. It is a hypnotic code, and they cannot do it without your consent. They do some sort of hypnotic thing over us, a veil over us, so that we're not able to actually know that they're even here, or even to think that we can break down anything that they have over us. So this is what you do. When you are in the midst of walking out, now this has worked for me. This is how I initially did it, is anytime something would come in front of me, and I say something because you never know who's in front of you, I would internalize almost like a mantra that I am breaking the code of disillusion of any entity outside of myself, cloaking itself or not showing itself for what it was. I am not in agreement of that the disillusion. So I break the code of dissolution. Did I say that? Yeah. I'm breaking the code of disillusion. And I say that in my head. However you want to word it, it has to be breaking the code of disillusion, because it's an illusion that they're putting on you, a hypnotic illusion. So you say it in your head. You can say it out loud. I mean, if you don't want people to think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you could do that out loud too. But you say it in your mind. It's just as relevant and relative. Some of you may have to verbalize it, maybe for you to be able to break, the MK Ultra they have over your brain being asleep anyway for your, for the veil. So I break the code of disillusion. And what happens is that it's a gradual thing for some people. I don't know what consciousness, because some people who want this information are probably not conscious. There's a lot of entities that came on the last video that you could tell were empty seeders. They're just coming for the information and for the gems, because a lot of them are parasitic, or leeches. They come just for the information to pull, so they can utilize it for themselves. But if you're an empty seeder, what happens a lot of times if you don't have a soul, or you're not very conscious, when I say conscious, you're not really awake and aware, it takes a little bit more time for the disillusion to come off. And when you start to see, you'll start to see aspects of these entities in front of you. They're us. Now, when you start to see them, they notate that you can see them, because some of you have some, I've gotten emails, some of you freaked out. Let these entities know, we had some issues. I don't want to go too much onto the video about some of the things that were occurring when they watched the previous video of breaking the code of seeing the reptilians. People were seeing it and they were freaking out, and I told them, if you are not prepared to see another entity of another species that you didn't even know was here, residing here and living amongst you, don't do it.
The body thinks you're ingesting estrogen when you eat soy. If you want to act like a girl and talk like a girl and you're a guy, eat soy. I mean, if you want to have a condition called gynomastia, which is an enlargement of the breast tissue, eat soy. I mean, it's unbelievable what it does, and children should never be given soy formula. This product should be completely and totally pulled off the market. I mean, Do you feel that strong about it? No, it feminizes.
No, it's cheap.
It feminizes men. It feminizes. It's as bad as BPA in plastic bottles. BPA is unbelievably bad when you eat drink, because that's called bisphenol A. That feminizes men. It was put into the food supply through plastics back in the 40s. It's another estrogen compound. All of these pesticides.
You're very bold, you know that.
Well, no, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these people dying of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, and saying, we don't understand why we're dying. I'm telling you why you're dying. It's because of the poison they're putting into the food. The problem with soy is it's a female hormone. It's estrogen. My goodness, it's just awful to be giving little boys this. I mean, we wonder why we're getting so many feminized little boys. I mean, really? You're giving them soy, you're giving them